Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. In today's video I just wanted to demonstrate one of the big new features coming to all our multiplayer brethren out there, and that is going to be an active configurable loot filter. So I know many of you have been waiting for this from official sources for many years, and while we may not be able to help you there, we do want to bring you our own version that we've worked on in our spare time, after work and all that fun stuff, to help try and improve things for the D2R community and bring that extra quality of life to the table for you. With that said, as usual, if you guys are liking this kind of content, make sure you subscribe, like the video. It helps everybody out, and definitely be sure to check out that video description below if you'd like to gain access to the website, Discord, our Patreon, or links for some of the tools that we'll use today. And with that out of the way, let's just jump right into it and talk about the actual loot filter. You will need an updated version of D2RLAN as well as D2R HUD in order for the best experience of this, and to take advantage of all the kind of features of that. Assuming you've done that, again, D2RLAN version 1.3.8 and the D2R HUD version 1.0.6 that will come with, then you should be good to go. But with that quick disclaimer out of the way, if you go into the options menu on D2RLAN, and you'll see you have a new option for loot filter. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and select that. Obviously I've never used this before, so I don't currently have a filter, but if I go ahead and select the drop down, it's going to show me some of the filters that hopefully the mod author has included in their mod. There will be a new filters folder that they can just create in their own mod, and the launcher will know to search that folder and automatically populate this drop down box with whatever that mod has to offer. But if you don't see anything in this drop down box, don't worry, you can import your own. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and click the load new filter button. I'm going to use this kind of example filter that I've created for this purpose, and I'm going to go ahead and open that. As we can see, we got our confirmation message that the filter has been loaded, and we can confirm that it is now set as my currently active filter. And it even gives me a little bit of a title, description, etc., just to let me know kind of what that filter's about. So obviously we can see this is just a demo filter. It doesn't, actually do anything. I wouldn't use it. But we can go ahead and select somebody else's filter. Again, these are just other volunteers that have spent some of their free time to make up filters that they think you would like. Yeah, so you can just quickly select them, browse them, add some new ones from some random guy in Discord, etc., and try them out, or configure some versions of it yourself, which we'll show you how to do near the end of the video. But anyways, what we're going to do is we're going to go and select another one, and once more you can see they've tried to add some basic descriptions. Keep in mind, this is very early days, so they were just kind of trying to get the ball rolling. I wouldn't expect these to be 100% mastered and curated filters, that you can just set and forget kind of thing. Not quite yet, so just a friendly disclaimer there. But anyways, we're going to say we're happy with Sheep Space Filter, that we want to try that out and stuff. That's simply all we need to do. It's already set in the dropdown, so we don't need to do anything further. We're going to go ahead and start the game, and then I'm going to open up the configuration file, and we'll get to see kind of how this works, how you can tweak things to your liking, things like that. So when you go in the game, you shouldn't really notice anything different. It's not that type of feature, but we're going to go ahead and Alt-Tab out. And again, the filter we're going to be editing as the kind of player is going to be lootfilter_config.lua or Lua. So we're going to go ahead and open that file. And the first thing I want to do is just say, don't stress out if this seems very complicated or like it's a lot to you. It's actually quite simple once you just break it down, but because again, this is kind of a user-made filter, they've tried to add a lot of different features that you might like for you, and so seeing it all at once with no context can be a bit much. But there's only a couple things you really need to focus on. Every kind of quote separates a different rule or a condition that you're trying to meet, and you can set these up for different item types or items, different locations, different stat requirements, all sorts of stuff. We'll get into the nitty-gritty in a couple minutes here, but just understand that most of the filter authors will kind of add this comment. Anything in green text is like a comment that the file doesn't actually read, but it will just let you know kind of what the purpose of this rule is. So we can see here that rule 2, this is to hide weapons that don't come with any paladin skills, and so that might be something you're interested in, so you can just leave that rule. Obviously, if you don't want that, you can simply delete this section and it's all good to go, or you can change certain things. You can add 2 dashes in front of a line to comment it out and make it skip that line. You can also change it. Obviously, if you don't want it hidden, you can change this to false. So you can start customizing this. If you don't want this item code or you want 5 more, you can add them. So speaking of item codes, these will be the item codes the game itself uses. You can find these in the text files, or if the author was nice enough, he included a list of them at the bottom of the configuration file or something like that. But that's what you'll be using to help kind of identify which items you're targeting. But to start off a little simpler here, we're actually going to jump down here to rule 3. And as you can see, there's basically only 2 commands that are being used for this rule. The first is just to define which items are going to be affected. So again, TSC is the item code for Scroll of Town Portal, and ISC for the Scroll of Identify. And as you can see, that's what the purpose of this rule is for, is just to hide the scrolls on the ground. So there's no other conditions or information needed. This is a just simple hide equals true for these item codes. So what I'm going to do is, now that we're just again focusing on only this rule for now, let's go ahead and go in game and see exactly kind of what that means for you. So I have debug commands on. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is force spawn in a scroll of identify here. And we'll know that when I press enter, it kind of works. You probably didn't hear it because I have my sound down low, but we hear the sound of the item, but it's definitely not there. Pressing alt and stuff doesn't happen. There's no, visual on the ground, anything like that. So the loot filter is doing its job, and it's hidden it. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to go ahead and set that to false. So I'm going to save the file, and then I'm going to press Control R in game. And we can see here we got a fancy new message that lets us know our loot filter's been reloaded. And now that that's set to false, I'm going to go ahead and do that same dev command to spawn in a scroll of identify, and there we go. We can see it shows up fine. So this is going to demonstrate that kind of real-time component of this loot filter. If you're kind of creating your own thing, you notice an item that you forgot in your filter, you can easily hop into your filter, update the rule, reload the configuration, and test it in game and make sure that item disappears, or doesn't disappear, etc. However you're trying to do things. But that's just one aspect. Obviously, hiding. You can hide junk items, and you can tackle that how you'd like. But just for argument's sake, I want to show you how you can just do 1 or 2 more things real quick, just to show you that you can do quite a bit with this, and you don't necessarily have to be kind of scared of that. So the next thing we're going to do is we're just going to add a little bit of text before the item, just to let people know how great of an item it is. And so we're going to let people know that it's a great item. So that's why we're going to add that very informative label there before the item. We'll put a little space before it, just so it doesn't run into that normal item name word. And then once again, I'm going to hit Control R to reload things. And we can see that our prefix, what we want to appear before the item name, works just fine. And I'm going to go one step further. We're going to add a suffix now, which, as you can imagine, just adds it at the end of the name instead. And we're going to go ahead and say that we want that as our suffix. So once more, I'm going to save the file. We're going to reload in game. And then we can see that our tag has been updated. Now we can do much fancier stuff than just adding, text before and after the name and all that. But I do recommend reading over the documentation file that will explain how you can really take advantage of this configuration, hide things based on quality or what location you're in, your character level, all sorts of fun stuff. As I mentioned, we will get to that configuration documentation in just a second, but this is the basics of how this file will work. You can simply create as many rules as you want to capture as many different items and situations as you feel you need, and then you can do things like change the colors, hide them, add special text, whatever you feel you need to fix that, you can do that. So as one final note, we got options of like color codes and things like that. So I'm going to go ahead and put pink in brackets here. I'm going to save it. I'm going to reload, and we can see that now when I drop it, it's pink. But you'll notice that it's not changed when it goes into my inventory. It's only while it's on the ground. That's one more thing that we can change if we want. So for location, I can tell it that I want it to be on the player. That's the only time I want this to apply. Is not while it's on the ground, but maybe while it's on the player instead. So once more, I'm going to reload. We can see that now while it's on the ground, it's normal. But as soon as it comes into the player, now our filter takes effect. So again, we can set this off location, the difficulty you're in, what level you're currently fighting, all that sort of fun stuff. And you'll have a lot of power with this. So speaking of power, let's show you how to unlock it all. With this release, a little PDF will be included. If you guys are sketchy about PDFs or something, fair enough. I'll look at some other file type that can use decent colors and formatting in the future. But anyways, this will kind of explain everything about the loot filter in its current state, what you need, some of the things you can do with it, full transparency on kind of how it all works on the back end, etc. And then if you keep scrolling, it'll start telling you how you can use all the different commands to actually configure things to your liking. So again, you'll have all your kind of basic conditions that you can set for things like the quality or the rarity. You'll have more advanced things like how many sockets it has, whether it's ethereal or not, if it has a certain value stat, etc. And then you can control things like how it's output. So one of the things that you'll really like to do, or at least in my opinion, is use the notify option. I just want to show that off real quick because I do think it's fairly cool. So again, we have this, hiding scrolls on ground. We're going to say that we want to remove this location. We don't want that anymore for this testing. But we do want to set up a notification. So when this item drops, the game is going to let us know that, hey, this special item that you were interested in has dropped. But we want to go one step further, and we don't want to just let it send us the default message. We want a special, sorry, can't talk today, message sent that says, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Maybe we're just really, really happy about this identify scroll dropping, and we want to know. So this is going to be our custom message, and we're going to go ahead and save that. And then once more, I'm going to hop in game and reload, and you can see this is where it's going to appear with our kind of other chat messages. So when I drop this on the ground, simulating like it came from a monster, we got, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Now, because our mod is funky, the item code, because we use icons and stuff, it comes up weird. But if I were to use a more normal item, oops, none of these match the filter, sorry. But you can ignore that part. It would normally show like the item name here, so it would say hand axe or, whatever, Stone of Jordan, whatever item it was. But yeah, so that's how you can set up notifications so that you never miss your high runes again or whatever. But you don't necessarily need flashing lights and all that stuff to accomplish it. So yeah, it'll let you know when things drop. And again, this will all be found in that kind of documentation file, all the different commands you can use, and it will give you some examples of different rules and stuff that you can set up. So again, maybe you wanted to hide all one socket non-magical items in the game, because they can't be made rune words or anything like that. Maybe you want to drop notifications for only perfect rainbow facets, because you're a baller and you only care about perfect ones now. Maybe you want to hide potions based on your character level automatically. So like for example, once you hit level 25, you no longer see the minor healing potions because they're kind of useless to you. And then once you hit level 40, you no longer see lesser healing potions. And again, you don't have to come back to the filter file every time to update this. You've just set it up ahead of time that, hey, this is kind of what you like, and then they phase themselves out automatically. So there's lots and lots of stuff you can do. Again, we're just trying to make this easy for you, and I'm sure users will make their own templates, submit them, and this kind of stuff will grow in time. But for now, that's the loot filter process, how you can take advantage of it. I definitely hope you guys enjoy it, and thanks for sticking around to the end. Take care. Bye.